welcome back to episode 5, Cinco, of 5 Knives in 15 Minutes with the Knife Nuts, Levon and Jake. And we're going to jump right in here.
Here's your first knife,
with
Levon.
my first knife. Oh my gosh. So this is a Microtech Scarab.
Le Scarab.
Le Scarab. And this was my first high-end OTF. I think it was one of Jake's first high-end OTFs too. It's one of these knives that I fell in love with. I think you got, what did you do? You traded like a gun for like a pile of Microtech OTFs. And this happens to be one of the ones that was part of that group.
And stayed with us.
Yep.
Let's see the date, Levon.
Yeah, like, so this one, let's see when this one was made. So this one is dated 08-06. So this is a 2006 Microtech Scarab. It's pretty old at this point.
It's old in general, but it's also old for our collection. It's been here for years and it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And,
this is a lifer.
Yeah, and it's a real testament to
quality.
Microtech's old amazing quality that they're.
This has never failed us once. I don't think this has ever misfired. It's not a fancy Navy Scarab with the washer or something in there that keeps crap from getting in it. This thing is just an awesome knife,
and
you can tell this gets used, carried, everything.
It's everything.
It's a really cool knife.
It's everything that's cool about a double action OTF.
And the action is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is, even compared to some of the more modern ones, this one is a particularly good example. So kudos to Microtech on this one. Really cool.
Would you like a newer Microtech OTF to compare it to?
Well, I guess you've already...
No, you're not.
Oh, wow. That's good. Oh, my gosh. This is a weird knife. This is the kind of knife that these type of videos that...
You done messed up, Aaron!
This is the kind of knife that I wanted to feature on 5 Knives in 15 Minutes. So this is a Tops MSF 4.0, I believe what it's called. Is that what it is? Is that the name of the knife? I believe it is.
Right off the blade? Yeah.
I believe that's the name of the knife. This is Top's second foray into a folding knife. Maybe there was one or two more between there, but this is the one that was made in Italy. And it runs on bearings. That was just made. It actually flips really, really great. What blade steel is this?
Scanty grind.
It's a yeah, I know it's got a scanty grind, but what's the blade steel on it?
For some reason, it's escaping me right now. It's something that...
It's not 1095 because that's what the one made in the U.S. is. I can't remember what the blade steel is on this.
Makes sense for that knife.
Yeah. I don't know. It's pretty good. I gave this one to you, I believe. This one has the micarta scales.
That's also a hashtag gift blade, yes.
Oh, very good.
So the other unique things, it was their first or second soiree into folders.
Already said that. You're not listening. He's not listening to me either.
Yeah. You done messed up, Aaron!
Yeah. This is, it's a cool knife. It's very sharp,
and
too.
They did a good job. Yeah, that's really the number one thing to mention about that knife is it insanely sharp,
very
factory edge. Here's your next knife, mister.
Oh my gosh. Wow. This one was actually a gift from Dave. And this is, what do you call this? It's a real steel.
That is a real steel.
Fuck, I can't do top flippers
on
roller bearings.
No, it's on needle bearings.
Needle bearings. What's the difference between needle bearings and roller bearings?
Roller bearing is a term that gets thrown around regardless of the shape of the bearing.
Oh. Because they all roll.
Supposed to mean balls, but those are cylinders, needles.
Yes, it's got like the high-end Shirogorov style bearings.
Yeah.
But not the super high-end where it's multiple rows. It's a single row.
They're not balls. They're shaped
pins.
like little steam rollers.
Like little rolling pins. Jeez, the action on this is nuts.
So good.
I can't quite manipulate it on. I can do it with this finger, oddly enough.
I had the same problem with another front flipper. It's awkward.
This is also aluminum framed, and it's got like an inset steel liner lock, a very thin liner lock, but very functional.
That Tops was N690, of course.
Oh, it was N690, of course, Italy. And then you have this really nicely machined backspacer on this knife. I think that's really freaking cool. The blade shape is also kind of perfect for this type of slim knife here. I don't think these are very expensive either.
Metamorph.
Metamorph.
They
That's what it's
are
called.
$60 on Blade HQ
60
right
bucks,
now.
dude.
Sold out, but
These things
Very,
are
very
very cool.
also Sandvik steel.
Oh, yep, 14C28N, there it is. The tolerances and stuff are very nice on this knife. I really like the way everything is squared off. Some of the, I don't know. One of the pet peeves for me is when you have frames that are a little sharp. I just wish there was a little more of a chamfer here. But overall, it's pretty good.
And very, very thin blade stuff.
Very little to complain about this knife. I even think the aesthetic is nice. What else you got for me? It's a very cool knife.
No, not that one.
Oh, jeez.
No, not that one. I thought your battery was going to die. I didn't even...
No, we're good. Battery's not dying. Battery's holding on strong. I'm just going to sit here and flip a couple of these. Man, this Scarab is awesome.
One eternity later.
The other cool thing about this series is that I'm rediscovering a lot of knives that I've owned for a long time. And in this case, a knife that I haven't owned for...
I put it in my pocket.
This is a knife I've just received fairly recently. This is, of course, you guys are probably all familiar with the Massdrop Gent. Look, I cut myself with the other one. This is a Massdrop Gent. This is one of the ones they did just recently with, you could get it with carbon fiber or rosewood scales. I actually have a set of the rosewood scales as well. This is a great knife.
I love that. I feel like that one really nailed the point of
this
Massdrop.
knife.
Yeah, of a Massdrop knife to bring a high quality folding knife to an audience that isn't necessarily really well versed in the knife industry.
Knife. Hence the pen clip. That's the weirdest addition to this knife, is this generic clip that's also finished really nicely. We Knives produced this knife, and there's very little I dislike about it. I love the action. I love the way it carries. I love the size. I love the design. Designed by Elliot Williamson of Ferrum Forge. Yep, very cool knife. These are S35VN. And one of the things that I liked about this version of the Gent, why it took me this long to get it, because they've been around for a good year now, is that they used the crappy We Knives satin, which I cannot stand. And I think a lot of the discoloration that people are getting on some of the S35VN knives are accounted to the poor quality of satin finish on We Knives. So this one has a stone-washed and tumbled blasted finish, which is really, really nice. Great action. I think this was my budget knife of the year for 2018. Yeah, give me my last knife. Oh my gosh, we're going. We can't get through this without doing a Spyderco, can we?
No.
No. Okay, that's fair enough. So this is the Spyderco. Is this a Matriarch?
Civilian.
No, this is a Matriarch.
Matriarch.
Yeah, this is a Matriarch.
Tooling cost. Yeah, it's a Matriarch.
It's a Matriarch, yeah.
It's just an old Matriarch.
This is a very old Matriarch. You can tell by the medallion, the faux medallion thing in the middle there, and the type of the clip that we have going on here.
The texture is just straight up waffle.
It's a waffle texture.
Yep.
Yeah. So the Matriarch gets its name because it's the mother of all knives. No one knows why it's actually called the Matriarch. I know it was actually commissioned by South African police or something.
Sure.
I believe that's what this was designed, or was that the civilian? Someone will let me know in the comments, I'm sure. They're yelling at the screen as I'm going through this. But, I mean...
Tell them about the warranty.
What warranty?
The warranty
yes,
does not cover normal use.
That's right. So you get, when you buy a Matriarch, and I actually have a more current version of this knife, I believe. They come with a little piece of paper that says this knife is meant for self-defense purposes only, and regular everyday use is not covered under the warranty from Spyderco.
Do they say self-defense in particular?
I believe they do.
Just allude to it. Either way, the bottom line is
it's meant for hurting people.
You're only allowed to break the tip off on like a bone or get it stuck in a jugular or something like that. It's a very unique knife.
It is one of the most
for our collection because we really don't tend towards self-defense at all.
No, this is owned really purely out of cool factor.
Do you remember why I bought that knife? The purpose that served?
I do remember, and it was because so Jake lives on a good bit of land, and that land it has a pond on it. And near that pond, there are many reeds and vines bushes. And pricker bushes and things like that.
That's the knife I fight against pricker bushes with while I'm mowing the lawn.
But the method in which he fights them off is also the most funny, is because
he'll
hold it out as he'll drive by in his Ranger,
or mowing the lawn,
a Polaris Ranger or a tractor, and just holds it out there and lets it sort of thresh all the weeds and vines and whatever else you want to cut with it. I've never seen him do this, but that's what he alluded to. Jake is very good at justifying purchases for himself, and this happens to be one of them. Very cool knife. One of the Seki City knives, too. Yeah, I have mine. Maybe I'll carry mine tomorrow and use it for some everyday stuff and void my warranty.
You should, yeah.
Wow, that is a weird pile of knives, Jake. Congratulations.
Good.
That's a very strange... You can still get this. You can still get the Scarab in certain situations. Let's go down the price range here for some people. So what do we say? These are like $100, the Gents, right? I think that's a great value. You can still get ones under $100. So a lot of people, they make custom overlays or scales for this too. Really cool knife.
I'm going to tell you a neat thing about the Metamorph is they teased Real Steel just before the new year teased an update to the design of that knife, or maybe to the internals or something like that, and I don't know what it is yet, but they did tease.
Hopefully it's still on the needle bearings.
I can only hope.
This knife, I believe, is also in that $100 range.
$150, I think, was the listing.
Just a cool knife. If you want something a little more hard use, buy an American brand that's made in Italy. There you go.
Hey, did that one come with a sharp factory edge?
I believe it really did.
It was a true Scandi, yeah.
It's an actual. Yes. Did you put a secondary on this?
I mean, I haven't run
because it's got one
any more than just a ceramic rod, so it's still almost factory. But I have used that knife, so there you go.
This is a very cool one.
And that one's in 690, as I think I mentioned.
Very cool. And the Scarab you can get, I don't know, at different times of the year. Microtech releases things. This one is so of that era because it has that grip tape on the inside of it too. It's a cool knife, and it's double-edged. I don't know. That's a really cool thing. Which one is your favorite of these 5, Jake?
Well, since I'm still on a dagger kick and also on an OTF kick, today it's the Scarab.
It's the Scarab. You know, I might have to agree with you there. I mean, the most practical choice is probably the Gent. That one ends up in my pocket pretty often these days. These have spent more time with you recently, and this one is never leaving my collection, you know. So it's a pretty good group of knives.
It's a good group.
It's a good group.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. And
even though this one was a short one, we did this in under 15 minutes. Look at us.
How would you know?
It's efficient. It's efficient. All right, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks.
Goodbye. You know the drill. The blade is the...
You can see he's always wiping on that one spot. Right?
Yeah, and that sharp little hot spot, I mean, I've seen a couple makers do like a little chamfer, like a, just kind of bite the edge off. And
if they're like lobsters, all you'll do.
I mean, it depends on what kind of tolerances you're dealing with. But if you took that hot spot away, either by chamfering the edge or making it spherical in there, what the fuck are you doing? It could get interesting. I'd be really interested to see what's the next wear item, what's the next thing that causes friction if you took that away.
I'm sorry, I can't even hear what you're saying now because I'm thinking about this fuckface with his goddamn camera.
You done messed up, AA Ron!